loved ones. Plus, that's pretty cool. Anybody raffling off tattoo vouchers and Botox? That's pretty cool. It seemed like a good character. God bless his family in their time of grieving. That'll do it for Hertel. We hope you continue to subscribe and watch and listening, however you are on any of the podcasting platforms or the YouTube channel. Appreciate your support. We're going to keep trying our best to turn down the noise of the news cycle, keep bringing you great information. We got a lot of good guests lined up for the rest of the week, going into next week already. A lot of stuff going on in the world. We couldn't do it without you, though. If you're not listening, we ain't got nobody to talk to. This is a partnership. Make sure you're reaching out to us, hertelshow@gmail.com, at hertelshow on the Twitter. Would love to hear from you. Might even tailor the program to your questions, concerns, epistles, and thoughts. That'll do it for us until we see you again on the next Heard Tell. We hope wherever you are across the street or around the world, you and yours are well, you're well fed. We'll talk to you tomorrow for more Heard Tell. All the music on Heard Tell is provided under a Creative Content license from monstercat.com.
Somos la máquina.
Bringing you the best local talk radio shows, Wilmington's Big Talker 106.7 FM, WFBT, Carolina Beach.
Tune in to the WWAY News at 6 p.m.
Thank you for joining us tonight for your news at 6. I'm Hannah Patrick.
I'm Randy Aldridge. We want to get straight to our WWAY team coverage of last night.
For the biggest and most compelling stories that make a difference.
On the scene shortly after the blaze began and has the story now.
Leland is one of the fastest growing towns in the country.
First court appearance this morning in Pender County.
WWAY News at 6 p.m. This is the place.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing, but not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. This breaks my heart, and it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and gives it to families in need. To help, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hello, I'm Matt Bennett with WWAY News. New homeowners insurance rate changes are now in effect. Consumers will likely see a rate increase on policies taken out or renewed on or after June 1st. State Insurance Commissioner Mike Causey negotiated a settlement with the North Carolina Rate Bureau for an overall statewide increase just shy of 8%. As part of the agreement, the Rate Bureau will not seek another homeowners rate increase until at least 2024. Bladen and Columbus County homeowners will see an increase of just under 6%, while most homeowners in Brunswick, New Hanover, and Pender counties will see an increase under 10%. And a water and swimming advisory has been issued for an area in Banks Channel at Wrightsville Beach. Water quality officials found high levels of bacteria that exceed the state's recreational water quality standards, which increases the risk of swimmers developing gastrointestinal illness or skin infections. And work continues in Bladen County on the brand new Highway 701 bridge, with a 4-lane bridge still taking shape in Elizabethtown. The 4-lane bridge will replace 2 narrower bridges going from Elizabethtown to the White Lake area. Construction is expected to continue in August, with completion expected sometime in 2024. And in Pender County, the town of Surf City says people seem to support moving forward with a beach nourishment project. The Army Corps of Engineers is finalizing its review of a draft report submitted in March. Once that report is approved, a second agreement will be presented to the town for evaluation and approval by Town Council. The project will significantly increase the amount of sand on Surf City beaches, with construction of a new 25-foot dune projected to be 15 feet higher and a 50-foot berm about 7 feet higher. That project should be finished by 2024. For more on these stories, you can head over to WWAYTV3.com. I'm Matt Bennett. Have a great day.
Happy Thursday, everybody. I'm WWAY meteorologist Ramel Carpenter with your Storm Track 3 forecast. Get ready for another toasty one in the Cape Fear as our high temperatures approach the upper 90s away from the coast, upper 80s along the immediate coastline, and only a small chance for a few isolated showers and storms to develop later this afternoon. And as we head into the overnight hours tonight, we are going to stay dry and quiet under mostly clear skies and certainly going to be warm and muggy as we drop down to the low to middle 70s. Get your full forecast on WWAY, WWAYTV3.com.
This news and weather is brought to you by Two Men and a Truck. For your free quote, go to twomenandatruck.com. twomenandatruck.com.
The Wilmington Cape Fear Home Builders Association serves as the advocate for the building industry, advancing professionalism and promoting community involvement. We are a positive force for responsible growth while protecting property rights and the privilege of home ownership. 3 out of every 5 jobs is touched in some manner by construction in our region. Growth generates jobs, maintains our property values, and builds and updates our infrastructure. Join us Friday mornings for the Construction Connection with the Wilmington Cape Fear Home Builders Association and the Big Talker FM.
Jill, why don't you tell the class what you did this weekend?
Well, my dad and I went in search of some magical minnows and found a zillion of them in the stream from our lookout rock. Then my sister and I escaped from an evil slug king and went back to my super twig fort for safety. Then we told stories till it got dark, and the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Wow. Where were you, Jill?
We went to the forest. It's not that far away.
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
O'Leary's Automotive Repair has multiple locations in the area in Hampstead, Leland, the Myrtle Grove area, Ogden, and Wrightsboro. O'Leary's Automotive Repair, a trusted, locally owned business since 2006.
No. All right, then. Came a little early for me. Welcome back to the Asylum, your refuge in a world gone mad. Right here on the Big Talker Network. BigTalker.live is the website. Download the app for Android and iOS devices. You'll love it. It's a way of life, I promise. And with that in mind, we get to start the new special day of testing right here on the Big Talker. And let it be the Asylum where it all comes together. Oh, yeah. So far, so good. The first 36 seconds have worked out quite well. Ah. Except I'm still waking up. Wednesday nights are a late night. We were at Ted's last night. That was a lot of fun. Josh Starkey, Jim Nelson, Ari Papalardo, and the Grays were at Ted's. And man, it's a late night for somebody like me, especially experiencing something of a technical emergency. So the part of the magic behind making radio requires blending a bunch of audio signals together. In my case, it turns out the console that I toured with back in the 90s doesn't like hot and humid. When I stole the radio station back in November, everything was fine because everything was chill. So being in the garage wasn't so bad. It was nice and chill. Well, it turns out somewhere around May, the temperature went from the high of 72 degrees to a high of 94. Apparently, the humidity went from somewhere in the neighborhood of 10% to north of 60%. The console said, no. I'm 32 years old, my capacitors are leaking, and no. I just do not belong in this 90% humidity environment. In fact, most electronic equipment does not like to live in that environment. I know we as humans don't, that's why we have air conditioning. Therefore, I've had to rearrange some of the equipment and come up with a new solution, new plan for blending audio signals. So, today is the test for that. So far, so good. I had to grab another console, drop it in the box, drop it in the slot, make it work. And so far, so good. You know, I mean, All the lights blink, the music works. I'm good for a minute, I think. We will know more next week as we approach more of our guests, etc. This has been quite the live radio, ladies and gentlemen. Oh. Yes. Dead asleep, still on the air. A sacrifice I make for you. And I know my show's going to be a little single-handed at the moment, only because everybody in the Big Talker family and the extended family is dealing with emergency rooms or hospice or IRS or whatever else, making it difficult, or if that impossible, to join me here on the radio. It could be they're just all embarrassed that I, being the liberal hippie they all expect me to be, and I didn't say the gun is the problem. I think they're trying to figure out how that happened. Yeah, if you didn't tune into my Dealy Deal, what was it, Tuesday, when I ranted for, 2 hours straight? Yeah, the firearm itself, you can't call it a weapon because, if you shove a pencil in somebody's eye, the pencil is a weapon. So the word weapon is actually a pronoun with, negative connotations usually, that you just, hurt somebody with it. That could be it. You know what? I think I can fix that. Hey. Huh. I was turning down the wrong one. I still have to make adjustments, ladies and gentlemen, so you're just going to have to bear with me as I make goofy, goodly, toodly, googly little, mentions along the way while I figure this out. Now, here's the thing. Not about the firearm. That's, you can go listen to that. This is, so, in addressing the problem and coming up with a solution so that I would have a radio program this morning, required another one of my patented, and trademarked brilliant strokes of genius. However, I am very dismayed that it takes my own stupidity at an incredibly high level that I need to do this. That I had, it takes stupidity to bring out brilliance. And that's me. That's right. I about melted one of my favorite consoles, which is probably worth more than I am. And, I thought, hey, this would be great. I'm going to use this console in my my garage studio. But, of course, the stupid in me didn't realize that, oh, you're about to melt that thing. So I had to bring a different mixer. Have you ever seen the Facebook meme, I own a ridiculous number of ... I own a ridiculous number of mixers, all right? I had more, and I sold 2, and I think I just killed one. It's going into storage today. But yeah, I was able to pull another one out of my hat, plug it in, and program it because it's a digital console, and radio people don't like using digital consoles. We like to have knobs that we can, faders we can slide, and knobs we can turn, and, well, this one's all done by an iPad. And we're scaling down and moving out of the garage and into my bedroom. This is probably the last week, if not the last day. I don't think we'll be doing any more of the Asylum morning shows from the garage. We'll be doing it from the comfort and safety of my bedroom, much to the chagrin and consternation of my roommates. But I think they can adjust. They can deal with it. They're used to me going off on weird little tangents. They're just not used to me doing it at 8 o'clock in the morning, fully fueled with a large cup of coffee. Now, knowing that we're alone and knowing this is all a test, it's time to bring you the Asylum-friendly news. News you can only get on the Asylum. Actually, you can get it anytime you want. This was originally published in The Sun, picked up by New York Post, only because these people like to, I don't know. Charlotte Edwards from The Sun writes about this, and this is kind of cool. It's an auction, right? Anybody likes space stuff? Auctions are cool, aren't they? Yeah, I thought so. Okay, you can now buy moon dust from NASA's Apollo 11 mission, expected to auction for around $400,000, but it hides a disgusting secret. Moon dust collected in 1969 by Apollo 11 astronauts has just gone up for auction. The moon dust is from Neil Armstrong's famous NASA mission, which made him the first human to stand on the lunar surface. He even screwed up that line, right? But you can't fault him. The guy had so much going on in his skull just getting to the moon that when he jumped on the moon, he misspoke one word and completely ruined the quote. He left out a word, actually, is what it was. Let's see. Stand on the lunar surface. The sample may sound exciting, but it holds a rather disgusting space secret. If you're not a fan of cockroaches, then you may see the moon dust differently, as it was once eaten by the creatures. This was all part of an experiment to see if lunar dust had a negative impact on them. On a roach. You know what roaches eat, right? Like cardboard and metal and drywall, and it's going to take a lot to kill a cockroach. I mean, stepping on it sometimes doesn't even do it. Anyway, to see if it had a negative effect. During the first moon mission, I'm fighting off another sneeze and trying to read dyslexic wording in this. During the first mission to the moon, scientists were worried that the astronauts would encounter position substances? Somebody needs to work on their vocabulary. The astronauts would encounter poisonous, I think is what they meant to say, poisonous substances, or bring contamination back to Earth. Secret, that stuff has been like sterilized by no atmosphere and bombardment by UV, gamma, and other rays. Anyway, the 3 cockroaches. Oh. Okay, so they didn't tell us how many before. So now we know it was 3 cockroaches that ate the lunar dust, were then killed, smashed their little heads. Scientists removed the dust from their little tummies and found no evidence to suggest that the sample was toxic. RR auction, right? RR standing for Remarkable Rarities. Remarkable Rarities auction is now selling the moon dust as part of its Remarkable Rarities auction. That's right. Bidding starts this week. Oh, it started on May 26 and will continue through May 23, so there's plenty of time to put in a bid. They even have pictures of the dead cockroaches, and there's a reason. However, the starting bid will be, or started, the opening bid back then was $10,000, and it's been going up. And auction experts think the moon sample will eventually sell for 400,000 pounds. Or, excuse me. This is what happens when you read literally. Because the dollar sign is before the number, and then the very next number is the pound sign. The British pound sign followed by a number. So let me try that again. The sample will eventually sell for $400,000. Bobby Livingston, what was that, Rarities? Okay. Bobby Livingston of Rarities, Rockin' Rarities, what was it again? Remarkable Rarities. The copy has not hit the neurons yet. RR Auction, Remarkable Rarities Auction Executive Vice President told Collect Space. Whenever we present something from Apollo 11, it is obviously thrilling because it is the most important mission. But when you get to something like cockroaches that were fed lunar material, it just shows how diverse the Apollo program was. He added, for any of us who were 12 or 13 years old and had a science class when this Apollo 11 went up, this is not at all icky. This is incredible. No, it's still icky. It's incredibly icky. I'll give you that. How's that? Is that fair? The lucky buyers will get the tiny moon dust sample and the rotting carcasses of the 3 roaches that ate it. Bonus. So if you're looking for something to absolutely not get your dad for Father's Day, 3 dead roaches and a tiny, like, I can't even see. Oh. The sample is so small it has to be seen under a microscope. So $400,000, I think I'll buy a 6-pack of Teslas first. But that's me. I mean, if you want to snort moon dust and dead roaches, there it is. But $400,000, that's a lot of money. Ain't nobody got a lot of money. Ain't nobody got time for that. Oh, wait a minute. Actually, coming out of Fox 32 in Chicago, somebody do got time for that. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, this is scary. The news comes out of Chicago, but it's right here on our own backyard. I was just there like 2 days ago. And I didn't even know this. And it might be part of the story we kind of covered without this aspect. I don't have an author, so this story has just been stolen and republished. A man who won $10 million lottery prize sentenced to life in prison for murder. He got plenty of time for that. That's right, coming out of Bolivia, North Carolina, a North Carolina man who won a $10 million lottery prize in 2017 has been sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole in the 2020 fatal shooting of his girlfriend. Dude, with $10 million, find you another girlfriend. Simple as that. Anyway, the News and Observer reports that Michael Todd Hill, 2 first names, just like Andrew predicted, 54, he's younger than I am, not by much, but come on, dude, of Leland, was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced Friday in the killing of 23-year-old. Whoa. You're 54, she's 23. Dude. No wonder it didn't work. In the killing of 23-year-old Keona Graham of Navassa. Graham was reported missing on July 20, 2020. That's a lot of 20s. She was later found dead in a hotel with a gunshot wound to the back of her head. In the news release from the 15th Prosecutorial District of North Carolina, prosecutors said surveillance footage from the hotel showed Hill was the only person in the room with Graham. They said Hill later confessed to shooting Graham after she had been texting with other men while at the hotel. A manager at the hotel said Hill checked in the room alone. A housekeeper later found Graham's body. 3 years before the murder, Hill had won $10 million from a scratch-off ticket. After winning the prize, he then gave $2,000 to the cashier who sold him the ticket. Let's hope she put it in a bank or has been using it for his bond or something of that nature, because you're going to need it, man. But yeah, he got plenty of time to think about that, what he's going to do when he retires. Or did he burn through all that money getting a lawyer? Right? Because again, anytime something goes south, it's the lawyers who win. That's why there are so many of them. Who made all the money during the grand jury and convening the grand jury and failing? The lawyers. They didn't have to do much after that. They just made their money and walked away. Isn't that fun? All right, time for a pivot. I have to admit, I am not one to keep my finger on the pulse of culture in America, so I never saw this Joe Exotic stupidity. first time I saw the guy, I was like, whoop, no, that's not a movie I'm going to watch. I just don't. I have no desire to entertain or elevate stupid people. That's me. You do what you want. But stupid people are just not somebody who gets my attention, my money, my votes. But I can appreciate its effect on culture because the Joe Exotic memes, even though I've never seen the movie or show or whatever it was, the memes are hysterical, and the guy's haircut is just, woo, your mama just don't like you. So another story coming out of New York Post by Hannah Sparks. A lion with the mullet. A lion with a mullet. This is, I mean, when you see the pictures of the poor lion, he is just sad. He's like pissed off sad. Like when you're so sad, you're pissed off. Like when you're crying interrupts your breath. You're just that's where this poor lion is at. The lion had just said, "FTW, man, I'm done. Just shoot me. Just end it." Lion with a mullet forces zoo to deny Joe Exotic haircut. It's nature's magic, they say. Oh, check this out. This is funny. Even lions can have a bad hair day. Yes, ladies, you don't need to be brushing your mane driving down Main Street. Get it? Huh? Hot and humid weather in southwest China is cramping the hairstyle of Hung Hung, the lion, who was recently photographed at Guangzhou Zoo, with the mane looking more limp than usual. Zookeepers attempted to boost the lion's locks, but Hung Hung couldn't help but fuss with his new do, licking his paws and patting it down in an effort to tame the frizz. Now, photographs of the unusually coiffed big cat have caused static on social media, with many comparing his mane to a mullet in the style of Tiger King Joe Exotic. Hung Hung's flattened fringe was spotted by zoogoers on May 29, who later shared images online, according to Viral Press. Some visitors complained that staff had botched his exotic look, but staff claimed it was purely nature's magic. This thing just looks so bummed. It's like, I think he's ashamed and pissed. Like, if you have a hair day, you just want to crawl back in bed, close the door, and he can't. He's on display. He's like a fish in a bowl. There's nowhere for him to go. He just has to walk out there and deal with it, because it looks like it looks like a bad Timmy haircut out of South Park. It's that bad. It really does look like a Joe Exotic cut. Their hairstyle was purely nature's magic, a spokesperson told Viral Press. We wouldn't dare cut the lion's hair. He looked like a blonde supermodel with fringe because of the high humidity in Guangzhou. Hung Hung has since attracted an uptick of onlookers hoping to spot this lion's singular style. He's the most beautiful boy here now, and more people are coming to see him, his caretaker also told Viral Press. You know, it just occurred to me that we wouldn't dare cut the lion's hair. I don't think that's for aesthetic reasons, right? Because I'm thinking if you got near a lion with some electric clippers, that lion's going to be like, not today, buddy. Keep in mind, you are on my menu. You are not outside my dietary restrictions, okay? You might be full of tacos and gluten, but I'm good with that. This year has been one of China's hottest, experts have said, as temperatures have reached an average of nearly 90 degrees Fahrenheit during the month of May. Now you know why I'm bugging out. Ooh. Poor guy. You just got to see these pictures. His little girlfriend thingy here looks more like a boxer because she's just completely soaked, sweating straight through. And just poor thing. Oh yeah, that lion's mane is not standing up. It's completely flopped over, and it frames his face Not unlike an 80s video vixen dancer type person. It's pretty sad, poor bastard. Oh my God. So, you don't have to go to China to see it. All you got to do is go online and visit the New York Post and type in lion mullet and suddenly your Thursday is a lot less crappy than it was going to be, don't you think? Oh, hey, I get to try something new here. Let's see what happens if I hit this button. Yeah. All right. So, the first half hour of our experimental day is going according to plan so far. So, with that in mind, we are going to play a few messages, maybe some news and weather if it goes right. And then we'll be back on the Big Talker Network, rejoining the Asylum, your refuge in a world gone mad. Don't go nowhere.
Hello, I'm Matt Bennett with WWAY News. New homeowners insurance rate changes are now in effect. Consumers will likely see a rate increase on policies taken out or renewed on or after June 1st. State Insurance Commissioner Mike Causey negotiated a settlement with the North Carolina Rate Bureau for an overall statewide increase just shy of 8%. As part of the agreement, the Rate Bureau will not seek another homeowners rate increase until at least 2024. Layton and Columbus County homeowners will see an increase of just under 6%, while most homeowners in Brunswick, New Hanover, and Pender counties will see an increase under 10%. And a water and swimming advisory has been issued for an area in Banks Channel at Wrightsville Beach. Water quality officials found high levels of bacteria that exceed the state's recreational water quality standards, which increases the risk of swimmers developing gastrointestinal illness or skin infections. And work continues in Bladen County on the brand new Highway 701 bridge, with a 4-lane bridge still taking shape in Elizabethtown. The 4-lane bridge will replace 2 narrower bridges going from Elizabethtown to the White Lake area. Construction is expected to continue in August, with completion expected sometime in 2024. And in Pender County, the town of Surf City says people seem to support moving forward with a beach nourishment project. The Army Corps of Engineers is finalizing its review of a draft report submitted in March. Once that report is approved, a second agreement will be presented to the town for evaluation and approval by Town Council. The project will significantly increase the amount of sand on Surf City beaches, with construction of a new 25-foot dune projected to be 15 feet higher and a 50-foot berm about 7 feet higher. That project should be finished by 2024. For more on these stories, you can head over to WWAYTV3.com. I'm Matt Bennett. Have a great day.
Happy Thursday, everybody. I'm WWAY meteorologist Ramel Carpenter with your Storm Track 3 forecast. Get ready for another toasty one in the Cape Fear as our high temperatures approach the upper 90s away from the coast, upper 80s along the immediate coastline, and only a small chance for a few isolated showers and storms to develop later this afternoon. And as we head into the overnight hours tonight, we are going to stay dry and quiet under mostly clear skies and certainly going to be warm and muggy as we drop down to the low to middle 70s. Get your full forecast on WWAY, WWAYTV3.com.
This news and weather is brought to you by 2 Men and a Truck. For your free quote, go to 2menandatruck.com. 2menandatruck.com.
This show is also sponsored by Dr. Tony Maglione. Dr. Tony is a cardiologist practicing in Wilmington. He accepts Medicare patients, and his office is located across the street from New Hanover Regional Medical Center at 2032 17th Street. The office number is 202-1071. Dr. Tony is an author whose last book is Rules for Conservative Patriots, and it can be purchased on Amazon. His website is www.drtonymag.com.
Here's 1 minute of tree knowledge in 30 seconds with K.O. Davis.
It's important that you have somebody, a trained professional, to trim your trees. There are these guys out there that just hack trees, and that's the worst thing in the world that you can do. Don't let somebody hat rack your trees. That's a tree term for hat rack. You know how they just cut a tree and it looks like it's just got like a hat rack? These guys just go up and just cut the trees off, and they don't cut it back to the proper spot. Call us, because we care about your trees.
Visit KO'sCoastToCoastTree.com.
Don't let some yahoo hat rack your trees.
Listen to Tom Goolsby on The Chad Adams Show.
People with common sense know that the entire theory of socialism is one big lie.
The Big Talker 106.7 FM.
pretty sweet, actually. I think I like this. Using the console, using this new mixer, it's pretty cool. And cheaper, yeah. Thanks for reminding me of that. Hey, welcome back to the Asylum, your refuge in a world gone mad. Available exclusively, only, and, well, right here on the Big Talker. That's right. BigTalker.live. Please visit the website. You can download the app for Android, iOS devices so that you can really enhance your experience and take it with you anywhere, everywhere you want to go. Bluetooth. Pair it Bluetooth with your car or, automobile's entertainment center system. You can take the Big Talker with you anywhere you feel like going. Man, this is nice. I don't have to reach anywhere. It's right here in my hand. I can make it nice and quiet. Or make it slamming. This is nice. I like this. I don't know. I don't think I want to go back at this point. I'm hooked. This is alright. This is alright. I'm okay with it. And again, it's my own stupidity that required me to come up with this brilliance. Hey, yeah, let's put a radio station in a garage. What could go wrong? 90-degree temperatures can really do it to you. All right. I'm with you. Woo, another hour and a half to go. Let's see what happens. I mean, I'm already running on empty and the rest of the world has abandoned me. I can't say they've abandoned me. They have things to deal with, like, hospice and ER and IRS and all kind of craziness. On top of that, I'm not entirely awake, so, can't get too mad at me. Maybe you can, I don't know. People do anyway. No, that's not the mail I wanted to see. So obviously that's not part of it. Alright, take two. That's right, dead asleep. So this is probably not the most exciting show. So I guess we'll go to Spain as part of AP News. Can I talk to a human? Space presents customer service bill. Now, you're going to be confused because there's three kind of bills. The bills that fold in money, right? Oh, there's four bills. There's bill like the GOP, the Brunswick County, chair of the Brunswick County GOP, right? And you have bill like a water bill where you're billed for your services. Spain presents customer service bill. There's one more bill we haven't covered. Let's see if you can guess what that is. Madrid. Tired of speaking to a machine when you call the bank or power company? Ha ha ha. Spain's government wants to end those nerve-shattering one-sided conversations with a computerized answering service by making it obligatory for companies to offer a real flesh and blood customer service workers when so requested by a caller. Hey, we could follow in these footsteps. Now watch how they listen as they choose appropriate adjectives and words with connotations to sort of skew your view of this thing. That is one among a battery of measures included in a customer service bill presented by Wings. Oh, come on, coffee, do your thing. By making it obligatory for companies to offer a real flesh and blood customer service worker when so requested by a caller. That is one among a battery of measures included in a customer service bill presented by Spain's left-wing coalition government on Tuesday. The bill will need the approval of Spain's parliament before it can become law. Quote, this is quoting Consumption Minister. What? Alberto Garzón. Customer service is a critical part of our relations with customers, or with consumers. which unfortunately and far too often causes endless headaches for Spanish families because far too many companies create bureaucratic labyrinths. I didn't know that was a word in Spanish. Bureaucratic labyrinths to stop you from exercising your right to service. These are difficulties which unfortunately waste an enormous amount, of energy, time, and money. The bill would also seek to do away with long wait times by forcing companies to answer calls within 3 minutes. Providers of basic services such as utilities, phone, and internet will have to offer customer service 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. All other companies will have to provide customer service during working hours. All customer complaints will have to be responded to within 15 days. The law will apply to all utility providers regardless of their size and all other companies with more than 250 workers or whose business exceeds 50 million euros, $53 million a year. Fines for breaking the law will range from 150 euros to 100,000 euros. I'm sorry, but you cannot legislate good behavior. But they're going to find that out. What's interesting is they spun it by saying the left-wing coalition government. I don't know. When was the last time 30 people were slaughtered by an automatic machine gun in the open public during the day in Spain? Maybe we should stop with the pronouns as insults. Unless they apply like Fat 45. I mean, he was the 45th president, and he is fat. Unhealthily, disgustingly fat. To the point that I don't think he pays Melania enough. Could I tell you what? It would take a lot more to put up with his stuff. And I'm still waiting to hear, because somebody's got to come up with it. There has to be a story. There has to be a story relating to the amount of damage done to the White House to install and remove a solid gold toilet. So, no, he didn't take a salary, but the amount of damage he caused, his salary would not cover, right? Solid gold toilet. This is who we are. We worship money, and we worship the people who worship money. We worship the people who represent money. We worship the people who have money. What the hell is wrong with us? Right? Just because a person has money doesn't make them a nice person. Ray Rice. Huh? You're paying this moron, this thug, this criminal, this, aggressive, bad idea, hopped up on steroids because it's not, exactly prevented or, it's not permitted, but it's not, it's not like the Olympics where they're going to test you. Oh, yeah, they did test. Oh, they tested for COVID. They didn't test for cocaine, but they tested for COVID. Right? So cats like Ray Rice, and I mean there are hundreds. He's just the one that, like, that left hook into the elevator was brutal. Brutal. That brings up an interesting conversation, which, just for fun, don't take this seriously, but think about it. The Amber Heard, Johnny Depp for anything else has shown us that if you want equality, you're going to have to learn how to take a punch. Right? I mean, if you really want equality, you're going to have to start changing your own tire. You're going to have to, figure some things out that you've been relying on men for. That's probably going to piss off a bunch of people. But, think about it. There's a lot of times that what we consider the gallant nature of who we once were is supposed to supersede all the other stuff, right? So opening doors. If I'm carrying a bunch of packages and all you have is your purse and a teacup poodle, you can open the door for me. All right? I mean, I'm getting up there in my, I'm getting older, all right? There are times I might need a little help picking something up off the floor. That's if I really think it's important to get back. Because at that point, I just don't want to. Screw it. It's only $20. It's going to cost $100 just to pick up that $20 because of how much medicine I'm going to have to take to cure my back after doing that, right? So, yeah, if we're going to want some equality and you're really screaming for equality, there's a lot of things that need to be equal. So, I mean, domestic violence all the way around is a bad idea, but there shouldn't anymore be this, I would think, where one person is what do they call it, the fairer sex? Like, if you want to get mad about something, get mad at that. I get it. They've been breaking ceilings and doing cool things like getting into, MMA. So, hey, as long as you got girls, women, females in the MMA, right? We have, I don't even know how to refer to them. The once was, but now isn't in athletics, causing all kinds of problems. Awkward boy becomes girl and outruns the entire girls' track and field. Not exactly balanced, not exactly fair. Not exactly something the founding fathers had on their mind. Right? So, yeah, if you really want to be equal, be prepared to take one to the face. Like a Spartan woman, right? Like, who was that chick in Lord of the Rings where she, like, popped on a helmet and hid her identity so that she could go out and fight with the rest of the boys? And we shouldn't have to do that. Why do we have to do that in the military, right? So there's a lot of things here that just don't seem to have both sides of the equation figured out. You don't want gay people in the military, but you're going to find out that some of the people with alternative lifestyles have a deeper sense of humanity than any bastard in a suit in Washington. But we love to harp on people for this, that, or the other thing. You want to be in a homosexual relationship? Why is that a concern or issue with anyone else? Why does anybody even know, right? I mean, there are times I've been working, like, next time you watch news on TV, observe how many of these people have wedding rings, are wearing whatever, and then ask yourself, who? Who are they married to? You have no idea. Do you need to know? No. But you can recognize from that ring that this person is involved in a relationship of this nature. Whether it's a boy, a dog, a horse, an airplane, right? Because I got an article here I'm not going to bother you with. A lady wants to marry a toy Boeing airplane. What the hell has happened to us? Right? That person just needs to be, like, sent. There should be a special, like, a second Australia. Y'all want to be that weird? Here you go. Marry the airplane over there. Please do not contaminate the grocery store I go to with that kind of stupid. Because I'm really paranoid at this point that if the stupid is that strong, that it might be, like, a communicable disease. Communicable. That if she picks up a bag of nuts in the store, decides she doesn't want to buy them, puts them back on the shelf, if I walk by it, I'm going to find myself sexually attracted to the city bus And I'm not sure I'm comfortable with that. So quarantine is not just for COVID anymore, okay? We need to come up with some way, and it's part of the article, and I love this article. I gotta find it posted for you guys. The guy's making a point about how is it stupid people can't realize that they're stupid, and then smart people think they're stupid. And it's because smart people continue to realize that what little they know as they learn it is nothing. But apparently people with more ego than brain power think they're the star of the show and they have the answers to everything as long as they're not challenged. Fat 45. Pelosi. I mean, there's just about everybody in the panel at the national level. And here's the aggravating part to me. The only people you are aware of are at the federal level, like Pelosi and Cawthorn and Meadows. But it's the people at the municipal level, the people at the state level. That's where the true nefarious behaviors go on. That's where you come up with stupid like Boom Supersonic, which we haven't visited in a minute because, hey, they don't exist. Or do they? Let's see what happens. They're supposed to have a flying aircraft by this fall. This fall happens in like 2 months. Let's see what happens. Let's see if they've done anything different. No, not really. Supersonic is here. You're lying. Supersonic is not here. You do not have a flying aircraft. It's the same website. They haven't done anything. Oh, they added. Boy, you guys got snookered. Apparently the Travel and Leisure Global Vision Awards of 2022 bought the BS, and now they're giving sub people Spike Aerospace. These are the people I want. This is who I want in my business. Because these people know what they're doing. They make more sense. And it's not like we don't have supersonic transport jets now, supersonic jets anyway, right? They're just in the hands of the military, kind of like the really big guns, because they're trained to use them. It's a far more reasonable, man, the coffee still hasn't made it in my brain, far more reasonable approach. I'll stop now. All right, so I might take this break a little early and then, I don't know, sleep through the next hour. Or you can too. Hey, join along. Only because it's Thursday morning and it's a slow day for me. Oh, man. Woo. All right, so with that in mind, the Big Talker will be right back. Here at the Asylum, your refuge in a world gone mad. I need to open up another vein and pour in some coffee and see if I can't get this thing started. So, don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
Keeping Whiteville informed. The Big Talker 106.7 FM WFBT, Carolina Beach.
As Wilmington's leader in restorative and regenerative medicine, the Frank Institute specializes in health optimization. Simply put, we use in-depth evaluations and lab testing to determine the best treatments for each patient. So whether you're suffering from an unseen hormonal imbalance or a simple vitamin deficiency, the Frank Institute is ready to get you back to better living. Call us at 910-679-8534 or fill out our symptom survey online at frankinstitute.com. Because at the Frank Institute, you live, we help.
It's time for today's STEM tip. Okay, you know recycling is important. No one wants plastic in the ocean. Here's a cool way to repurpose a plastic bottle. Build an awesome terrarium. Cut a large plastic bottle in half and fill the base with sand, pebbles, potting soil, and your favorite plant. I chose an African violet. Put the top of the bottle over your base and place it in the sun. Your plant will grow sealed in its own ecosystem. Fun, right? Learn more at She Can STEM. A message from the Ad Council.
Hello, I'm Matt Bennett with WWAY News. New homeowners insurance rate changes are now in effect. Consumers will likely see a rate increase on policies taken out or renewed on or after June 1st. State Insurance Commissioner Mike Causey negotiated a settlement with the North Carolina Rate Bureau for an overall statewide increase just shy of 8%. As part of the agreement, the Rate Bureau will not seek another homeowners rate increase until at least 2024. Layton and Columbus County homeowners will see an increase of just under 6%, while most homeowners in Brunswick, New Hanover, and Pender counties will see an increase under 10%. And a water and swimming advisory has been issued for an area in Banks Channel at Wrightsville Beach. Water quality officials found high levels of bacteria that exceed the state's recreational water quality standards, which increases the risk of swimmers developing gastrointestinal illness or skin infections. And work continues in Bladen County on the brand new Highway 701 bridge, with a 4-lane bridge still taking shape in Elizabethtown. The 4-lane bridge will replace 2 narrower bridges going from Elizabethtown to the White Lake area. Construction is expected to continue in August, with completion expected sometime in 2024. And in Pender County, the town of Surf City says people seem to support moving forward with a beach nourishment project. The Army Corps of Engineers is finalizing its review of a draft report submitted in March. Once that report is approved, a second agreement will be presented to the town for evaluation and approval by Town Council. The project will significantly increase the amount of sand on Surf City beaches, with construction of a new 25-foot dune projected to be 15 feet higher and a 50-foot berm about 7 feet higher. That project should be finished by 2024. For more on these stories, you can head over to WWAYTV3.com. I'm Matt Bennett. Have a great day.
Happy Thursday, everybody. I'm WWAY meteorologist Ramel Carpenter with your Storm Track 3 forecast. Get ready for another toasty one in the Cape Fear as our high temperatures approach the upper 90s away from the coast, upper 80s along the immediate coastline, and only a small chance for a few isolated showers and storms to develop later this afternoon. And as we head into the overnight hours tonight, we are going to stay dry and quiet under mostly clear skies and certainly going to be warm and muggy as we drop down to the low to middle 70s. Get your full forecast on WWAY, WWAYTV3.com.
This news and weather is brought to you by 2 Men and a Truck. For your free quote, go to 2menandatruck.com. 2menandatruck.com.
This show is also sponsored by Dr. Tony Maglione. Dr. Tony is a cardiologist practicing in Wilmington. He accepts Medicare patients, and his office is located across the street from New Hanover Regional Medical Center at 2032 17th Street. The office number is 202-1071. Dr. Tony is an author whose last book is Rules for Conservative Patriots, and it can be purchased on Amazon. His website is www.drtonymag.com.
Enjoying Big Talker Network is as easy as asking for it. Program your digital home assistants such as Google Home, Alexa, and Siri to stream Big Talker Network content by simple voice command. Enjoy convenient hands-free access to program whenever you want, however you want by asking for Big Talker.
If a natural disaster comes knocking, how prepared is your family? You can't just close the door on earthquakes, floods, or hurricanes and hope they go away. That's why it's important to make a plan now. Ready.gov/plan has the tools and tips you need to prepare your family for an emergency. So if disaster shows up at your doorstep, you'll be ready. Visit ready.gov/plan and make a plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hey, welcome back to the Asylum, your refuge right here in a world gone mad. Right here on the Big Talker, the official website being bigtalker.live. Peruse the content, schedule of content. Of course, every program is available at the tip of your fingers. Audio, video, all that. It's a really cool app. You can, if it's on your smartphone, you can pair the smartphone with your car's entertainment system. Well, that was abrupt. Sorry. I'm getting used to this. Anyway. So this was on my head as I was trying to get the copy to hit the neurons, and I think I, cross-wired a couple of neurons. And being not the smartest guy on the planet, there's a lot of those confessions I need to make now. One of them being, whoops, this latest thing, big blow-up story from the Supreme Court. Everybody's up in arms about. Okay, that's fine. Be up in arms. The issue being states' rights versus federal rights. And only because this one is such a big deal politically that it has this type of coverage, this type of clout, this type of impact. Now, that's going to rearrange the way the states do business, right? It's no longer going to be red and blue states. It's going to be yes and no states. Yes, you have autonomy over your body, or no, you don't have autonomy over your body. Those are going to be the types of states we have. I'm willing to bet that somebody is going to step up around the same time and say, you know what? Our drug laws are not in compliance with state versus federal oversight. If it's up to the state, then there should be no federal drug laws. If you're going to do that with abortion, you need to do that with everything else that we do to ourselves. I mean, there isn't a federal drinking, drunk driving age or limit, right? They don't. The states determine what your legal limit, impaired limit, or whatever the hell the term is, right? That's on the individual states and sometimes even down to the counties. So if we're going to eliminate the federal government from being involved in the meddling of state stuff, then you need to do it across the board. You need to be consistent, right? I would think. So if you're going to take something as controversial and as, you know, blood boiling as abortion can be, and you're saying, oh, now it's up to the states. The feds don't have anything to do with it. But we have federal drug laws for exactly the wrong reason, right? What are you thinking? That's something that's going to need to be addressed because, you know, again, the policy and punishments are going to vary from state to state, but it's being illegalized under federal lawsuit. And currently the states are trying to say, or the government's trying to say, or different people are trying to say, it's actually a matter of convenience. For the most part, it seems, the federal government really doesn't care. Which is fine, right? That's, at least they're honest this time. But the idea being that they know that it's against federal law to be smoking a bone in public, right? Even in your home, in your car, wherever, if you're smoking the ganja, it's actually against federal law. I think it's a class 3 substance, something like that. And depending on the quantity rather, can land you in federal prison for a longo time. However, we can't seem to get our collective crap together because we have legal dispensaries in, you know, Denver and California, but we don't have the same laws and regulations, which is considered state by state, county by county when it comes to alcohol. Now, just a quick little comparison here. How many accidents per week just in North Carolina from alcohol? Now, nationally, how many accidents from somebody who's high? Okay, let's do some more, you know, not high like cocaine, but just, you know, caught a little buzz on a little bit of the sinister salad, devil's lettuce, jazz cabbage. How many fights break out? How many Ray Rice incidences happen after somebody smoked a bone? But boy, a couple of shots of whiskey and you're ready to take on the entire Russian fucking army. So yeah, we are not a balanced human. We think we're the greatest country in the world, but I tell you what, there's room for improvement, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of room for improvement. That if the feds are going to be out of the state's hair, they need to be completely out of the state's hair one way or the other. Figure it out. Are you going to be concerned about every little thing that I put into my body? Now, keep in mind, if you're not pissed off, and if you're a woman and you're not pissed off, let me remind you that the Committee on Women's Health did not have a single woman. In fact, all the aides were male. All the staff were male. How's that? That's how much we give a damn about women's health in this country. Unless, of course, it's your mom, then suddenly, or your wife, and suddenly, or your sister, and suddenly we're all concerned. But otherwise, when it comes to voting, what do they know? We have to regulate women's bodies for them because they are such a commodity to us. I guess, right? I don't wear a suit, so don't get mad at me, right? I'm still kind of chivalrous that I open the door and try not to laugh when you're wearing two different colored socks. Apparently that's fashion, but if I do it, right? I wore some colorful outfit the other day, and just about every adult over the age of 40 had to say something. But if I'd have been on a golf course, nobody would have said anything but, oh, hey, nice. But everybody had to say something, and that's kind of like just existing between federal and state jurisdictions. Somebody going to say something. Everybody always saying something. But the effectiveness of this is yet to be determined. So if we're going to take such extreme measures and burn up half the country and set it alight in basically a cultural riot, I mean, the memes that are blowing up on Facebook are laughable at this point. Either side of this issue just don't have it together. A lot of it is, completely heinous and evil. I'm not even going to get into the specifics of it, just the fact that autonomy, right, our freedom, is curtailed in areas that we just don't seem to get upset quite enough about. For real, though. So maybe the Supreme Court needs to take this Roe v. Wade thing a little bit further and say, you know what? We're tired of dealing with your crap. If it's a personal issue, take it up with the state. Federal issue should be protecting the people from large-scale issues like invasions from Russia or Microsoft or Tesla or Apple or whatever, bad nationally impacted situations, right? That's where we need federal protection. Smoking weed and having babies, if that's all going to, if one's going to be left up to the state, they should all be left up to the state. And the federal government should just get the hell out of it. And I think it's a parallel to what's happening here in my garage. As I pare down and eliminate the crap that's not serving me or not serving me well in the current environment. I love that console, don't get me wrong. But it's just not serving me in the current environment at the current time. Situations have changed, and obviously my needs have changed. Therefore, the equipment that I require has changed. Why is it we can't see this at the national level? Oh, I know why. Money. How much money did Madison Cawthorn make in his 4 years? Or 6 years, sorry. Somebody needs to do a little math on his pre-value and his post-value, much like Pelosi. Now, Pelosi had the good sense not to piss off everybody on the planet, let alone her own district. I mean, they, parallel to the both of them, they don't give a damn about their district. They haven't been in their district in years. The last time homie was in his district, he got pulled over again for driving with a revoked license again. How's that for representing? Is everybody in his district of North Carolina, are they all criminals and thugs that try to get away with carrying their gun anywhere they want to go, driving with impunity with a revoked license? Is that who's in his district? In Pelosi's district, is everybody in that district insider trading billionaires? Millionaires? I mean, 114 million. I'm sorry. There's nothing about that woman to me that's worth $114 million. Maybe $2 million. And 1.6 of that should be health insurance. Because God knows they have insurance the rest of us will never see. So if we're going to start with some equality, if we want to start with some issues, let's start with making it fair. Nobody in Congress or Senate or House or Rotundra, none of those people can have insurance that the rest of us don't have. They don't have any more access to health care and coverage of that health care than any other American. If we are to pass a law that all people must be held accountable under that law, right? So the lawmakers can't be, written for thee but not for me. No, all that needs to stop. Accountability for all that we love to talk about it, or as much as the talking heads like to talk about it, we're not seeing it. Right? The federal government is still trying to take credit and blow money at a federal level, just buckets of money, by saying, yeah, we're fighting the war on drugs. But now we're going to make more money by busting people who do the, right? Is it Texas? Brilliant people over there, run by some really, really bright people, have decided to introduce a bill, where you can be rewarded for reporting on somebody else who is thinking about having an abortion. Now, this reminds me a lot of Germany back in the 40s, when you were encouraged to report what you see. If you see a Jew, report him. How'd that work out? What did we discover from that? That it's basically state-sanctioned prejudice, bigotry. State-sponsored, state-funded, because these people are given reward for doing so. Now, I get it. If you're going to reward me, $10,000 reward that leads to the arrest of a murderer or a bank robber, that makes sense. But now you're going to incentivize reporting on someone who's having a bad day. And what's interesting, the only group of people that can be prosecuted for this crime are women. You don't believe me? When was the last time a man had an abortion? Think about it. Little weird, isn't it? So Women's Health Commission on Women's Health didn't have a woman in the building. Now we have this whole new thing about you can report somebody, you can prosecute somebody for having an abortion. There's only one person who can have the abortion. The one person who has no autonomy over their body as voted on by a bunch of men wearing suits at the federal level. Hypocrisy runs rampant in this country. Are we a great country? Yes, no doubt. But have we evolved? No. Right? Bill Hicks, evolution did not stop with opposable thumbs. So let's stop with the bullshit. Let's stop with the rhetoric, and let's start holding ourselves and our country and our government accountable. Answer some of these questions. Why are you so concerned about the Roe v. Wade, but you can't seem to figure out whose responsibility the drug law enforcements are? Is it state? Is it federal? Get your hands out of my pie. That's the whole point. If you're here to make the money, at least be honest about it. That's all I'm asking. Because it takes a lot of energy to dance around all of this deceit and all of the little crossovers and caveats. I mean, the whole Tipper Gore army back in the, late 80s? You want to start an army and do a movement and stuff, and that's fine, but you can't use the federal government to do it. That's a foul, that's a violation on so many levels, and it just lets us know what type of horrible human being you actually are. So, is there a solution? Is there hope? Is there a chance? Is there a shot? I don't know. But if we continue to use terms like leftist and MAGA right and everything else, and insulting and hijacking terms like gay or rainbow or pride or progressive or liberal or conservative or Republican, quite interesting. We smear a lot of the lines, right? So let's take it another step. If you're in America and somebody else is in, say, Mexico, there is a very well-defined line between that side and this side. But when it comes to things like women's health, there's this big smudge across, big meow. There's no line. When it comes to insider trading, they will smash, what was her name? Martha Stewart. They will smash her into the ground, but they'll let everybody else get away with it. And it doesn't even have to be just insider trading. I mean, look at all the heinous stuff that went on at the D.C. Trump Hotel. Talk about fattening yourself. Yeah, I'm donating my salary. It's called optics, ladies and gentlemen, and if you bought the bullshit, you're part of the problem. Yes, I'm gliding on the edge there that I don't know if anybody wants to pick up wants to pick us up for their FCC license. But at this point, I think Americans, or, enough Americans I speak to, are kind of upset enough about it that they're tired of trying to be, restricted in their vocabulary. But if you're not mad, how can you, if you're mad and you're not allowed to use the words that express your dissatisfaction, then we end up with a very short, useless, what's the word I'm looking for? Productive conversation. But hey, I'm lucky I'm a guy. I don't have to worry about the state telling me what I can and cannot do with my body. So by divine intervention, am I not? Now, that could be the other trend, right? So now we're going to have a bunch of women that are going to be looking for autonomy in their body, and the only way to do so is to change their sexual assignment, gender assignment. Now they can vote and act and be treated like men, like real people. That sounds fair. They're not going to do very well against men in men's athletic, and I would not recommend one of these folk be recruited to the NFL. Don't get me wrong, I think it is absolutely phenomenal that one. I mean, it's a start. Don't be the last, right? That's the whole thing. So they have a woman who's kicking for the NFL on a team, I guess, or they were thinking about it or whatever. Cool. But don't cry if you get just flattened, right? And this is not a Ray Rice situation. This is like football. That's what happens in football. People get run over in football. So, prepare for that. That's all I can say. But yeah, we're going to look at these laws. We should look at how these, there's a lot about this that hides the true nature of what's going on. So while everybody else is running around screaming and yelling about Roe v. Wade and the Supreme Court and this and that and the other thing, and you got a whole nother bunch of people running around yelling about January 6th, nobody's yelling about the fact that these people in Congress have come out of office year by year at a steady growth that far outpaces their salary. And they are in the very halls discussing all of the active trends in business. So Congress is actually a for-profit business for the individuals involved. So think about it. Do you really think Pelosi needs a salary from the United States? She's worth $114 million at this point. Stop paying her. It's not like she's doing any real work. Not at that age. I mean, that's like watching my granddad, right? Every morning, granddad's sitting there using his pills on his table like little football players.
Yeah, I remember when he did the outside shuffle in the 1927 Super Bowl. He threw that long arm catch, and it looked kind of like this pill here, right? So these guys kind of pushed over to the right, and then this big Viagra pill came up on the outside, and he was about to get tackled by the heart medicine, but then the blood thinner took over. You know what I'm saying? That's not what we need in office, and we sure as hell don't need Madison Cawthorn in office. What we need are effective leaders that have proven themselves in the open market. And what do they call that? The private sector. And I still contend that this type of public service should not be paid at all. I mean, their transportation paid, their food's paid, their health insurance is paid far more than most salaries across the country. And they're making more money from the insider trading and the handshaking, glad-handing, back alley deals. Look at their campaign finances, and then look at their personal wealth, and look what and then the timeline. Stacey Abrams, loser. Not that she's a loser herself, but she lost her elections, but still managed to increase her net worth, what, sixfold? She was worth maybe $600,000 going into her first campaign as governor of Georgia. Now she's worth like 4.8, almost $5 million. Now that's nothing compared to Nancy Pelosi, right? I mean, Nancy Pelosi can poop $5 million or no problem. And Elon's laughing at the both of them. He's like, I don't even know what to do with money at this point. Right? If you don't believe that money will make you stupid, right? Elon Musk, one of the smartest people on the planet, who went total retard. I'm going to buy Twitter. Dude. Just buy Columbia, right? If you're going to buy something, buying Twitter is just stupid. Okay, for lack of a better term, I can't, there's 180,000 words in the English language, and stupid seems to fit that right there. Why would you buy Twitter? Is the salary at PayPal and Tesla and SpaceX and such not enough for you? That buying Twitter is really going to be... But keep in mind, the guy is pretty brilliant, right? He came up with the PayPal idea, and millions of people use PayPal around the planet. I enjoy it. However you feel about Tesla, the car brand, the fact that he's put that thing together is pretty brilliant. And I mean, you may fault him for, snookering the government a little bit for the subsidizing. But that's nothing like the snookering that was just happening for 4 years. So maybe we need to be a little less, hypocritical about what's going on and be a little bit more honest, hold these people to account. No one should be above the law, any of the laws. I mean, in my world, the moment homie showed up in the Oval Office with a whole array of Goya beans, that would have started a 30-day jail trial, 30-day jail sentence. And then I would also go after anybody who posted that again on Facebook or any of the social medias. If you are thinking this is cool or cute, you can sit right next to him in prison and maybe teach him how to read. Start easy. Start with Dick and Jane, or maybe, you know, baby manga. Because he doesn't know whether you're supposed to read left to right or right to left. He has no idea.
These all look like symbols.
And you can tell when he's reading from a teleprompter because he has to, like, slowly read each word. But then again, most cats are like that, right? So I got to say, the last administration and this administration, neither of which has me excited in any way, shape, or form. Right? I'm just really glad that the person standing there is old. I'm okay with that. Old, fat, and disgusting. That is, you know, because I know I'm going to get old. I'm old now, and I'm going to get old, but I'm not going to. I want to be healthy-ish. Not that smoking is a good way to get there, but I try to make sure that I'm not, you know, eating 15 bags of chips a day. I eat 15 bags of chips maybe a month. Right? The one bit of information my dad gave me that was useful and not hateful or painful was moderation in all things. It's okay to eat a steak. It's not okay for your body to try and process 5 pounds of steak every day. Having a glass of wine with dinner once a month or now and again, not a big deal. But if you're drinking 2 liters of wine every day, that's a problem. We have lost our ability to moderate ourselves individually. The government should not need to say, hey, that's a stupid idea. We should know collectively that if a male weighing 200 pounds with a muscular, the ability to bench press 400 pounds, has gender reassignment surgery, they are not going to be a fair athletic competition, any fair athletic competition, to a natively female athlete. But we have to go through court for this because we can't figure, we're just that stupid. We have completely surrendered our common sense to the legal system. And that just does not bode well for our future, ladies and gentlemen. And is it a federal case or is it a state case? Because if you're going to tell me that Roe v. Wade is now a state-level decision, then the ability to compete in the Olympics, which is an international event, is going to have to be... No. And of course, the proposal was, completely backlash when a guy said, well, why don't we just have transistor? Let's just have trans Olympics so that all the trans people can be competing against other trans people, and maybe that would be more even, more fair. Stop. Because near as I can tell, all that's going to do is cause greater confusion among the sexually confused people of our generation, as it is. You want to be gay, that's fine. You want to wear bright pink hair, combat boots, and a wedding dress, that's fine. Don't try to convince me it's something I need to do or support or whatever. And by the same token, I will only rip into you if you wear a suit for a living. Because that tells me you have no marketable skills in the real world. And that starts with the lawyers and lawmakers. There's a cute meme that popped up years and years ago when before social media was a word. And it was along the lines of men in denim built this country. Men in suits have destroyed it. Not wrong. I would like to see more people in our representation at the federal, state, and municipal level that are people like us that have proven themselves effective and efficient in the private sector before they go into, and term limits, age limits, whatever. There's a reason why companies are not necessarily spearheaded by the same person for decades, because they tend to rot in the skull. And if you don't believe me, just take a look around. I think you will notice it for yourself. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, that tells me it's time for another news, weather, and sponsor break. So please, during this time, pay attention, give a call, shout out, let them know that, hey, thanks for supporting the Big Talker. I mean, you may not need to buy a car right away, or maybe you don't need to, whatever. Just give them a call and give them thanks. You know, just say, hey, thanks for helping out. Thanks for being a part of it. With that in mind, the Asylum, your refuge in a world gone mad. I'll be right back after these messages. Don't go nowhere.
Hello, I'm Matt Bennett with WWAY News. New homeowners insurance rate changes are now in effect. Consumers will likely see a rate increase on policies taken out or renewed on or after June 1st. State Insurance Commissioner Mike Causey negotiated a settlement with the North Carolina Rate Bureau for an overall statewide increase just shy of 8%. As part of the agreement, the Rate Bureau will not seek another homeowners rate increase until at least 2024. Layton and Columbus County homeowners will see an increase of just under 6%, while most homeowners in Brunswick, New Hanover, and Pender counties will see an increase under 10%. And a water and swimming advisory has been issued for an area in Banks Channel at Wrightsville Beach. Water quality officials found high levels of bacteria that exceed the state's recreational water quality standards, which increases the risk of swimmers developing gastrointestinal illness or skin infections. And work continues in Bladen County on the brand new Highway 701 bridge, with a 4-lane bridge still taking shape in Elizabethtown. The 4-lane bridge will replace 2 narrower bridges going from Elizabethtown to the White Lake area. Construction is expected to continue in August, with completion expected sometime in 2024. And in Pender County, the town of Surf City says people seem to support moving forward with a beach nourishment project. The Army Corps of Engineers is finalizing its review of a draft report submitted in March. Once that report is approved, a second agreement will be presented to the town for evaluation and approval by Town Council. The project will significantly increase the amount of sand on Surf City beaches, with construction of a new 25-foot dune projected to be 15 feet higher and a 50-foot berm about 7 feet higher. That project should be finished by 2024. For more on these stories, you can head over to WWAYTV3.com. I'm Matt Bennett. Have a great day.
Happy Thursday, everybody. I'm WWAY meteorologist Ramel Carpenter with your Storm Track 3 forecast. Get ready for another toasty one in the Cape Fear as our high temperatures approach the upper 90s away from the coast, upper 80s along the immediate coastline, and only a small chance for a few isolated showers and storms to develop later this afternoon. And as we head into the overnight hours tonight, we are going to stay dry and quiet under mostly clear skies, and certainly going to be warm and muggy as we drop down to the low to middle 70s. Get your full forecast on WWAY, WWAYTV3.com.
This news and weather is brought to you by 2 Men and a Truck. For your free quote, go to 2menandatruck.com. 2menandatruck.com.
Teachers and parents, the North Carolina Symphony is here to support you as you carry on the education of your children and students. Take your kids on a free virtual field trip to the Symphony with a virtual education concert and companion student book. Go on a virtual journey to learn what makes music music, with music by William Grant Still, Beethoven, Brahms, and more. Access the free video and student book with password 1932 at ncsymphony.org/virtual.
The Wilmington Cape Fear Home Builders Association serves as the advocate for the building industry, advancing professionalism and promoting community involvement. We are a positive force for responsible growth while protecting property rights and the privilege of home ownership. 3 out of every 5 jobs is touched in some manner by construction in our region. Growth generates jobs, maintains our property values, and builds and updates our infrastructure. Join us Friday mornings for the Construction Connection with the Wilmington Cape Fear Home Builders Association and the Big Talker FM.
I am State Farm Agent Rob Renz, and I want to help you get to a better place. Visit us online at ilminsurance.com. That's ilminsurance.com. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
No? All right, I'm getting used to this. This is okay. That's right. Welcome back to the Asylum, your refuge in a world gone mad, right here on the BigTalker.live, Big Talker Network. Make sure you check out so many of the other programs, including but not limited to Heard Tell, heard every morning at 7 and 3. Yael Osowski's Consumer Choice Radio, Paul Vallone, who is on vacation. He does the Guns, Politics, Freedom. I'm sorry. David Clement and Yael Osowski together make Consumer Choice Radio. Then we have Gun, Politics, Freedom, All Things Brunswick, my show. And you can, check them out and get more information on our website at BigTalker.live. Download the app for Android and iOS devices. Pair that device with your automobile's entertainment system. Oh man, I'm fighting a coffee. All right, so with that in mind, I think I've taken care of all the work I need to there. Look at that. I'm starting to dig this. This is pretty sweet. 26 minutes until I can get out of here. So that 26 minutes is very, very important. Well, actually, what happens afterwards? Because it's getting really, really hot. How hot is it? It's already 80 degrees. Which means as quickly as I can, I'm going to be in my car and on my way getting all this gear out of the heat and humidity. I mean, it's fine to bring it out now and again, but, do a show and then put it back. And, so I'm at storage quite a bit. And the storage unit I use has air-conditioned and non-air-conditioned environment or, spots. And recently they saw me digging stuff out of my thing and rolling it down the hallway and out to my car and back into my car. And they were asking, they didn't ask me until after they had experienced where they're pulling stuff out and it's just completely rotten, destroyed, humid, right? Heat and humidity will do a lot of damage. Just being in a sheltered spot can help. But oxidation still happens, right? Wood that's been stained swells, it sweats, it becomes sticky, it ends up cracking, it ends up decaying. And people are like, oh my God, this furniture was fine 2 years ago. Why is it all nasty now? Well, you didn't keep the moisture out of it. You didn't keep the heat out of it. I happen to have a lot. I have a fantastic amount of equipment that I would like to survive well into the next generation. Doing so means keeping it in an air-conditioned environment. We don't keep ourselves in that crap environment unless we absolutely have to. For example, me and my car. My car does have air conditioning, however. The car is meant for efficiency more so than comfort. So if I have the air conditioner on and I'm trying to start off from a red light, it's going to be slow going. The other side of it is that, $5 a gallon for gas, I want to be as efficient as possible. And I lose about 10% of my power anytime I kick on the air conditioning, so that's a reduction of about 10% of efficiency because I'm converting more of the chemical energy that's in my gas tank into air conditioning because I'm a putz, because I'm a pansy, because I don't like sticking to the seat. Yeah, Jeep owners are laughing at me. Yeah, man, just take the top off. Nah, I'm good, man. But it's the same lack of understanding that scares the hell out of me, because these people vote based on information they do not understand, cannot understand, will refuse to understand. Case in point, there are people in my family who refuse to believe that a body like the moon is actually falling around the earth. They have trouble with that. If you have trouble with this, obviously you were educated in the public sector, right? You weren't given any good education by a private school. If you can't understand, this is one of my favorite videos. The guy turns to his girlfriend and he says, hey, quick math question. If we're traveling 60 miles an hour, how far will we go in an hour? I don't know, 2 miles? It's like a 20-minute video, and he's just grilling his girlfriend. His girlfriend just cannot put those neurons together. This should not be humorous. This should be frightening. Right? We tend to misunderstand stories as we receive them, as we understand them, as we peruse them. For example, how about the family that was unable to afford the prosthetic for their child who was injured in an accident, so the high school robotics team got together and built one for him? Oh, what a heart-touching story. No! This is a response to a dystopian frickin' nightmare. The robotics, not taking away anything from the story itself, but the fact that people think that this is a heartwarming story, have it backwards. It is encouraging that we have smart people that can do that, right? That's what they do. I mean, that's their future is pretty well set. And the fact that they had the sense of humanity, the sense of compassion and empathy to reach out and help someone else, that is all wonderful. That is all encouraging. But the fact that this child had to wait for the benevolence of the high school robotics team to get a prosthetic that they obviously need to have any quality of life, that should be just the ugliest truth right there. That in our dystopian world, we find it more joyful that somebody else had to step in and take care of what the state should have been doing in the first place. The fact that we have an insurance company issue, bloated as it is to this degree, is insulting. Don't you think? I think so. Because it's annoying, it's ugly. This is not who we are. America needs to understand, I would think, the United States of America needs to rethink through the lens of community how to heal this planet, how to heal our country, how to heal the divides that we have been slamming into people's heads. It's like just drilling wedges into everybody's head. Either you're us or them. And as I mentioned on the show Tuesday, I think it was, one of the aspects that I find most heinous in public schools is which of the groups of people receive the greatest amount of attention, the greatest amount of funding, the greatest amount of accolades, and that's usually the football team. Their conversation is basically an echo chamber, crushing the enemy, right? We're going to kill them, we're going to crush them, we're going to run them over, we're going to, screw those guys. It's exactly what we do in the military when we send guys off to battle. We get them that worked up. And how about the conversation? We have a war on terror. We have a war on drugs. We have a war on any sort of common sense or intelligence, really. So if we can stop with that, we might get on with coming up with some, options, maybe some solutions. I don't know. I'm just one person out of 330 million in the nation, 10.5 million in the state. I don't think I'm alone in some of this ideology or, pontifications. But at the same time, I don't think it's somebody else's responsibility or fight. It's our responsibility and fight. It is our country. It is not Madison Cawthorn's country to just do as he pleases. Same with Mark Meadow being able to vote in 3 states. No. There's voter fraud. Yep. You would know, wouldn't you, buddy? But that's not to say that anybody is immune. Right? I mean, again, Nancy Pelosi, how the hell is she worth $114 million? What has she done to capitalize that kind of money? She invested where somebody said, hey, if you want to make a lot of money and vote for my pork belly bill, buy these stock. And once you hit 20, if you don't make 20 million, you don't have to vote for my bill. But if you make $20 million on my recommendation of a stock buy, you should vote for my bill. You don't think that's happening? Why do you think we had such a hard time passing any one of the bills? Because all these bills are bills with bills in them. I won't vote for your bill unless you put my bill in your bill. Then I have to vote for your bill because my bill is in your bill. Enough of that. A bill should be written specifically to the issue being addressed, nothing else. You can't add child care as part of the package for insurance fraud. We need to stop with some of this because it's actually, I would think, an insult basically to us as Americans, because that's really not what we're here to do. That's not what this system was designed to take care of. I mean, at the current rate, we're just going to be a bunch of babies relying on the state government to handle our stuff. No. We've already seen how effective you guys are. I mean, think about it. The Committee on Women's Health, that's how these people think, ladies and gentlemen. That's at the collective level. I mean, there was like 80 people in that photograph, not one woman. And you want these people to determine whether or not you can have a baby or not? You want them to determine your physical autonomy? Bad idea. Bad idea. For so many reasons, but if you can't figure that part out for yourself, I can't help you. Maybe somebody else can, but I can't. But that's why we have people with varying degrees, that's some of the jobs some of the things I think we could do without that are causing even more of the problems would be YouTube influencers. Stop making stupid people famous. Just because she's more attractive than your average bear doesn't make her, usually it's a her, doesn't make her any more important, right? I mean, my best example is when the Dixie chicks came out and were trying to be all political about stuff. And it's like, look, just shut up and sing the songs. I am not listening to you for your political BS. Same with Ted Nugent. In fact, I just stopped listening to Ted Nugent all the way around. He's just an annoying... I've had to work a show with the guy. It was that show that's, and by then I was already like, I'm just Ted. When I was a kid, Wayne goes to tango, I thought he was the coolest thing ever. And then I realized how much of a jackhole this guy is, and I'm thinking, nah, Definitely not somebody I would invite to my house for dinner. And that's been like the new bar for me. Because if I'm going to give this person money to buy their, if I'm going to give money to buy a record, which ends up in the art, some of it ends up in the artist's pocket. I had no problem giving money to Rush and Yes and Van Halen. But Ted Nugent, I don't think I bought one record. And shortly after that, I'm like, man, yeah, this is not somebody I would want to bring to my house, invite to my house for dinner. No. That became the new bar. So he is definitely not someone I would invite to dinner. Fat 45 is certainly somebody I would not invite to dinner. Ray Rice is somebody I would not invite to dinner. Madison Cawthorn, not somebody I would invite to dinner. Mark Meadows, I would not invite to dinner, no matter what kind of suit he wore. Nancy Pelosi, I would not invite to dinner, because I just don't trust her. There's something about that that's just, and there's a lot of them like that. Very few people in politics would I feel comfortable being in my home around the kids. That's a pretty scary statement. And if you were honest with yourselves and asked yourselves that same question, of all the representatives, all of them, not even just your state or district or whatever, but just think about it. How many of these people would you actually want to have a dinner and conversation with? Because you already know how they speak when they're in the floor. You already know what their subject is going to be. Right? If you sit down at dinner with some of these guys, inevitably at some point, voter fraud, Dominion voting, and crap like that, like Giuliani. Would you want Giuliani for dinner? Have Giuliani as a guest in your house for dinner? No. I would not want Giuliani around any child in my neighborhood. No. And I wouldn't have a problem with Biden for dinner. I mean, I would have to, wake him up between meals or between courses. Hey, the salad's over, buddy. Hey, hang with me. Yeah, we'll get to the cocaine by the end of this. I'm kidding. It's Madison Cawthorn that's got the cocaine. Which is probably, think about it, I mean, the guy has pretty much been kicked out of everything in Congress. I mean, I don't even know why he's going to go back to D.C. It's not for the sex. But his next career move is going to be quite interesting. I'm curious. Right? Because most people in his position would be like, I don't know, bartender or maybe a stripper. But neither of those is going to work out too well for him. Who knows? Maybe he could be a traffic cop. Hey, you're driving without a license. So are you. Okay, you can go. Right? What would Pelosi do? If Pelosi didn't have $114 million and House Speaker, what would she be doing? I'm thinking she'd be crocheting doilies for her grandchildren's, sippy cups. Maybe we need to rethink a lot of this from a different point of view. Because while the representative may, that's in question, put anyone up in front of me, and we're going to see two different things. One, you're going to be looking at all the issues. Well, this guy is pro-gun, and this guy is whatever, and I'm saying, yeah. He's also a misogynist. He's also violent. He has a history, whatever the cases are. I'm going to look at that person as a person. Because I'm willing to bet that there are people more like myself, hardworking individuals that know what it takes to get the job done, that it would be far more effective in office than any of them that are there now. Vast majority. There's like 2. And we don't know their names because they don't vie for attention. They vie to get work done. It's the people like Cawthorn and Meadows that can't get anything done because they're more concerned about, the bravado, the Boberts, the Greens, the Gates. Unfortunately, they all seem to be falling on the same side of the aisle, but that same outlandishness is what's led to crap like that 69 guy. That he's tatted his entire face, thinking that's what's going to make him cool. But hey, we're going to give this guy some sense of credit, as in, what, he's going to be politically aware? Hell no. Stop making stupid people famous. Kid Rock, Ted Nugent, Tekashi, or whatever his name is, little thumb-sucking brat. They're entertainers. They're meant to be outlandish, stupid people. But they should not be in any way influencing your political decisions. That should be done by simply meeting the voters, meeting the candidates, and figuring out who they are. Right? And for that example, let's turn to Charlotte with a couple of guys that are on the ballot. I don't know if they still are. We'll have to connect with our political friends. Apparently, we had 2 convicted criminals, convicted of bribery while in office, convicted of violation of that office, and guess what? They're running for that office because they have no marketable skill other than being criminals. State-paid criminals, by the way. North Carolina, state-paid criminals. That's who we are here in North Carolina. North Carolina, home of Madison Cawthorn, Mark Meadows, and this. Ridiculous, isn't it? All right. I'm going to give y'all a couple extra commercials and cut out of here so I can go take care of this equipment before it roasts in the sunlight. Y'all have a great day. We will see you. Oh, wait. Stop it. I really hate being in the garage. I really do. There we go. With that in mind, I'm going to take this time to thank everyone for tuning in, please. And if you would, send us an email with any compliments, questions, critiques, concerns, or compliments you may have, because we can't get any better without your help. So please, go to the bigtalker.live website, bigtalker.live, bigtalker.live. Peruse the schedule of content, send us an email. Make sure to download the Android and iOS app for Android and iOS devices. Can't miss it. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun. With that in mind, we will see you tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks again.
Keeping Wilmington informed. The Big Talker 106.7 FM WFBT, Carolina Beach.
Hi, this is Justin Humphreys from the Humphreys Law Firm on Eastwood Road. The Humphreys Law Firm is located in Lumina Station, Wilmington, North Carolina, practices civil litigation, intellectual property, commercial, and residential real estate. Please give us a call at 910-332-0721 or visit us on our website, which is www.humphreysfirm.law. You can also listen to me every Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. on the Big